few months ago, I started the challenge of playing every single sit and go stake in the lobbies on PokerStars from the 25 cent up to the 1Ks. Been a fun journey from the 2 recreational games at the 25 cent with Big Rob and Mark Elge to finding our first regs at the $25. Can you have us beat? Yeah, you could have a flush or a jack expert. A flush. And then only 2 reg games once we hit the $100 and above. I think this might be the first 2 reg game that we've played in the grinding up the stakes series. That's obviously going to happen much more frequently the higher that you play. Today we're going to be playing our last buy-in of $1,000, and afterwards we're going to do a quick chat about how well did I do, how much am I up or down after playing a game of each, and a little few details about how to be definitely a 1K spin and go crusher in the future. Even if you have never played spins before, guaranteed within a year crushing the 1Ks. Is that an unrealistic assessment? Maybe, but possible, is it? It's not possible. But could it be possible? Also no. But maybe it could be possible in 10 years or 3 years. I don't know. Maybe you could make the possible impossible, or the impossible possible is probably a better way to do it. I'm waffling. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's jump into some action. I thought I would share the process of registering this one just because it's a special event, right? And we can see, are we going to get a game? Yes, we are. It sounds like we are, ladies and gentlemen. So that's exciting. So you can have a look and see how we do as we join Whips and Igor. Good luck to them both. It's a 3x. Good luck us. Let's try and win this game, huh? Let's see what we can do. Igor and Whips, 2 of the best regs in the last 5 years, I would say. Both incredibly experienced at the high stakes. Both have been around for ages. Give a lot of respect to both of them. It's not unsurprising they're sitting in the 1K lobbies, of course. So let's see what we can do. Whips is Bosochi, yes, Bosochi. And Igor, we want to say Pasanka Valasiabru, I think. All right, little queen 6 here. Right on the cuspy borderline. So we can do a bit of everything. I'm actually going to fold this for a couple of reasons. But we can go either way. Don't think it matters too much. Queen Jack will be an open. So if you've watched any of the other series, thank you so much for watching, by the way. We talked a bit, I think, when we got to the 250s about making sure that you don't try and, if you're ever playing these stakes for the first time, try not to do different things just because the number's bigger or whatever. Like, it is the same game, it is the same spin. If you've been having lots of success at the stake below and you're moving up, you shouldn't try and, let's say, adjust too frequently in terms of making different decisions. This is a really close spot. I don't think it makes any sense to bet here, other than the fact that our range loves betting this spot, and I would like to bet our range, but our hand just makes no sense. So I guess we'll start with a check. We're gonna have hands like 8s, 9s, 7s, 10s, 6s, etc, etc. He goes for a tiny little bet here. And we're going to try and think about raising a hand here, which I don't know what we'd be raising really, but let's just go small, I think, as though we are trying to rep pocket 8s. It's very specific, like what kind of jack can we have on the turn? Would be ace jack probably bets, king jack probably bets, 10 jack probably bets, queen jack would be about it. Sizing there, I don't know, like jamming doesn't seem to make sense to me because I don't think we'd ever jam a bluff. So I tried to pick a sizing that I think is relatively congruent with like us having a bluff there, but I don't know. We've flopped the flush draw. That's good. Scary looking board. Wouldn't love to get check over this hand. I think I'll just check back and realize their equity. Eagle Chick's certainly going to be capable of having both value and bluffs in both lines. And I think we are reasonably okay in terms of realizing equity. Goes check on the turn. Can obviously sometimes get bet now, but it's less problematic getting shoved here on the turn. So I think I'm going to go for a 4 BP or check. Let's randomize. Oh, we're checking. All right, we're checking. And on the river, I think we have a pretty clear bet. So obviously happy to bet now. And we'll go for pot. We could bet pot with a jack. We could check a double check a queen. We can double check a lot of combos. And we have 6 high. So, I mean, I'll give this one a bet. Mainly because I think of the strength of our range that double checks here. At least I've perceived, I think Igor, like, I'm very careful about not over bluffing this combo. This position, and it is a raise pot, and we do connect a bit more with that. We can definitely get looked up here because we want to be super careful about over bluffing, but let's see. We get called by king 7, which does happen. I'm happy with the bluff. I think like we could have bet turn, obviously could have pot a turn. That would have been an option. We tried to randomize to kind of keep our range not to balance one way or the other, so just took a 50% style there. I will be much less theoretically sound when we're talking about the lower stakes, but here I'm just going to try and keep my ranges relatively balanced in what I perceive to be the correct way to do it. We'll follow the 10-3 suited. We could maybe defend that. I'm not so sure. Ace-10 suited, we could start with min raise. Just have a quick look at the HUD, see if anything jumps out, a reason not to. We'll start for raise. Could have limped. Maybe a limp would have been fun. We get jammed on Wish Us Luck. I'm hoping we see Queen Jack suited and not Ace Queen off would be bad. King Jack suited is even better. Looking for an ace. Wasn't to be, ladies and gentlemen. Wasn't to be. Well, GG. There's the 1K. That's how to lose 1K in a matter of minutes with Texas Tomo. Thanks for watching. Hope that was useful. What sort of chip EV can a 1K player, you may be watching this as a 1K player, what kind of chip EV can you expect to make at the 1Ks? So I had to look at the spin pools, and they were doing about 20.68 over 3.5K games, which is not a big sample in 2024. I also had a look at 651 results in 2024, and we had 31.42 chips over 1K games. Neither of those samples are particularly relevant, but maybe a nice attention-grabbing headline, if you'd like it, would be the 651ers made about $35 EV per game at the reg speeds, albeit both of those samples are pretty much meaningless and don't tell us anything. When we look at like bigger data sets, again, even if you take all dates, in the player pools, it's still not realistically any sample to draw conclusions from. And so your best bet is to basically look at the 500s results from last week's vid if you're interested, or look in the player pools. Those will give you a better indication of probably what's going to happen long term. But in terms of like a year to year, no one's really getting a sample in over a year to kind of give an accurate indication of what's likely long term. And so you have to use other metrics to try and determine how much do you expect to make playing 1Ks. And a lot is obviously going to come down to the opponents you face. At the flash speeds, and we looked at the spin pools, they made about 2 chips over 2K games in 2024. And the 651 pools made about 6 chips over 4K games. Again, even less reliable results here, given the greater volatility and the finer margins that exist in the flash games. But no one really made any money playing flash speeds in 2024, with the exception of one 651 reg who made a little bit of profit, but not like tons of profit, but a little bit. If you take bigger samples in the player fields, I think if we looked at all time over the last 48 months, they made about 5.2 chips. And so not a big winning. I mean, maybe a few guys with super high reg back if they needed it. But yeah, things obviously change. Player jurisdictions change in terms of who can play in the high stakes, and so any amount of reg battling is just going to naturally suppress in terms of the attainable chip EVs. And yes, the 1Ks are not a particularly high volume lobby, let's say it like that. What are the realistic dollar swings you'd expect to make playing 1Ks? So I'll give an example here. Our 641 reg that had solid EV results, are the most solid in the entire field of 1K players, ran 40 buy-ins below EV. Sorry, yes, 40 buy-ins below EV. Now you think, well, that doesn't sound very much, just 40 buy-ins. It's 400k below EV.
That doesn't sound right.
40 buy-ins, it's 400k below EV.
Times 10 quid by 1,000, right? And you've got, yeah, well, a very lot.
Obviously, I won't give his exact numbers, but he made some decent EV in the year, and then you can run quite a bit below that in terms of that. So they are the most obviously high stakes spins that you find in the lobbies. The games are the most infrequent in terms of what you find at the lobbies. There is the biggest disincentive to reg battle at the 1Ks, and so typically you don't see guys just going at it, because of most of the high stakes guys are very aware that like it's just burning money, and it's burning a lot of money. What you find is the games will sort of run periodically when typically 1 or 2 non-professionals will play. Maybe they'll some guys, for example, win a big spin at lower stakes, and they might withdraw some money but leave some for like kind of recreational high stakes spin play. You might get guys who win an MTT who go and play some high stakes spins, but games are pretty, let's say, infrequent, and so there's not really a game that you can just sort of sit there and play consistently. Occasionally you'll get times in the years or times during the month where games will run quite frequently, and then you get lots of people sitting looking for action, and then other guys that'll just be, you know, reasonably dead, and probably the majority of the time there won't be action running at the high stakes. But when action does run, it can be some of the best hourlies in poker, to be honest, in terms of online poker in 2025. If you can get a good action at the 1K spins, you can have some incredible EV hourlies. And so hourlies can honestly range from like 1k plus for periods. I won't say that's not a long-term hourly, obviously. Okay. Here we have all but the $2 games, which for some reason I'm afraid I can't find in the hand issues anywhere, but I can maybe message Stars if anyone's desperate for, oh, you must include the $2 games. I went back and reviewed every game and then tried to export the hands from everyone. The $2 games, we played 2, we won a 2x, and we lost a game. So bought in for $4 and lost $4. And so they're net zero in terms of the result impact. These are the ChipPV's massive 12-game sample, which I'm sure is incredibly relevant, as you all know. We played mainly reg speeds here, and we played a few ultras as well, and it's all whatever, pretty meaningless, right? But if we have a look at the results tab, after buying in for every single spin and go and having 306 ChipPV made in the last 6 months from this process, let's find out together, shall we? Press results, and I've lost $47. Well, that's anticlimactical. Would have been good to have won that last 3x for 3k, wouldn't it? That would have been that would have left you with a nice happy feeling watching this video and watching this series. You would have thought, brilliant, what a fantastic climax to that series that's been full of highs and lows. We were up $900. We were up $950 before that game. Lost it all, foolishly. In terms of the ChipPVs, we made ChipPV every buy-in except for 250s. So we will now be a reg of every buy-in except for 250s, because one tournament is definitely enough to make spin decisions on, for sure. 12 games is plenty. This is sarcasm. Please, if you have never played spins before, do not think that 12 games is enough to make any have any impact on your future EV decision making processes. But yeah, we lost $47. I'm therefore laying the public social media YouTube challenge down. Can you do better than losing $47 by playing a game at every stake level? That's the challenge, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone care to take on the battle? Because currently we've set the record. This is both simultaneously the highest and the best and worst results from this challenge. So if anyone would like to beat that, feel free to have a go and comment below with what you think you'll do. Thanks very much for watching. Let's end on the happy note of the ChipPV graph. Look at all that beautiful ChipPV that we could have made. If you'd like to see some more micro stakes actions from some of the early games, we will be doing Twitch streaming on Mondays, micro Mondays, in addition to our regular Tuesday Twitch streams. So look forward to seeing some of you there. Response has been fantastic, so I really appreciate all of the likes, the views, the comments, the subscriptions, everything. All feedback has been really warmly received. So thank you so much, guys, for your nice words. And we'll see you soon at, I don't know what stakes. Maybe they'll bring out some 2Ks in the future, and we'll have to add those games then to the series when they come out. But in the meantime, spin well, run good, and I'll see you soon.